Okay, hello Kuna. I know it's been a while. I've been pretty busy moving around a little bit to places where there's no internet. But yeah, I mean, I just got to get through these meetings. This city council meeting was about 2 weeks ago. Briefly, there were a lot of developments that were actually declined, and I'm just gonna go through this live because if I try to prepare everything and get everything ready before I make these, it's just I just can't do it. So I don't have that kind of time right now. So here I'm going to just look at the motion. So I think the quickest way is you just look at whatever the motions are, and if you're interested in whatever they were voting on, you can actually go back to see if they actually voted on it or not. A lot of interesting stuff is also happening on the Senate side or on the state level side, like mask mandates, the fentanyl bill. But that one I'll cover in a different video. I gotta just get caught up with
Anybody
everything.
else have any other questions before we close it? I make a motion that we close the evidence presentation and move to deliberation.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
You can start.
C2 designation, commercial. And it seems like they've addressed all the issues that the neighbors had. Seems like a pretty good deal.
Is there, I do have a question. Yeah. I just want to make sure that the stuff that they address with the neighbors is somehow in writing, so we don't miss some of that. Is there?
What's that?
Yeah, you
You can ask Jessica if you need to know about an agreement or something.
I just want to make sure there's something in writing with what the surrounding people that would be impacted.
So it is recorded in the minutes from the actual meeting as the original case was tabled to work out some additional ACHD information. So we have it on the record. They've actively, and those individuals were able to testify on record that yes, they have been in communication with the developer.
Thank you.
Okay, anything further?
Personally, I think it's a great idea. I mean, it's a commercial property. It's not going to take any EDUs, but they're taking care of the water. It's going to be self-sustaining. I like it.
You have anything?
At first I was like, I'm not sure that's a good spot, but then you look at Meridian, there's storage units on 10 Mile just north of there by their surgical plant. There's ones right off Eagle Road, major roadways, great place for it. It's,
And we have the one down 10 Mile by,
they're flat, probably well served for that area. So.
okay.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve case number 23-03AN.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded for approval. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carried.
Thank you, Jessica.
Okay, that seemed to be related to some kind of commercial things. They were saying it was self-sustaining, nothing to alert you. All right, let's see. They approved it. And if it's like something that, like a lot of times when you listen to the deliberation, you can determine if it needs to go deeper digging.
Council motions, ultimately, when you make a motion, I'd recommend those two that are appealed being treated as a different motion because you're affirming or reversing, not approving or denying. It's a different action that you'd be taking.
I'm just looking at the terms when they use the word motion, because that's when they either close the hearing or when they actually vote. All right, so here they're going to actually deliberate. And look, you can see the timing, 1 hour and 40 minutes and 14 minutes. So this one was that's a ball buster, an hour and a half that they went through this. So let's hear, it'll be interesting to see what kind of discussions they had. This one was 2 hours and a half, so here we go.
Motion that we close the evidence presentation and move to deliberation.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? That motion carried. Any questions directly before council? Mayor Nelson used to say that all the time. I say it, so I like it.
Someone want to start? You want me to start?
Go for it. I'm good.
So I have a couple concerns with, obviously, the project. First, just the density around the area. Secondly, Black Cat. I know that we always have this discussion over 10 Mile, the traffic, the amount of people on it. What's ACHD's plan? Now we've moved one more street over, which we still haven't come up with a good plan for 10 Mile, what we're going to do with all the development that we've approved there. I know that they have partnered with a school district, but that's still, they're going to need a school. Right, I get it. But we're continuing to add on top of it. So maybe they need one school now, as we continue to approve things, they're going to need two, or they're going to need three. Right, so it's more money they're going to have to ask to pass bond, which our taxpayers are already taxed out. The other thing is that I believe in strong private property rights, but where do his rights end and then the community's right not to be taxed out of their homes begin, right? Where's the line? I think for me, on the location, the density, where the schools are at, but the community feels it's a no for me.
Mr. President, the other things I guess I want to talk a little more about Black Cat. As I was reading the capital improvement plan by ACHD, and I can appreciate all of the improvements that Mr. Eck is going to be completing. But a lot of these improvements aren't until some are as early as 7 years from now, and the rest are at the earliest 12 years from now. Sometime between 2036 and 2040, that'll possibly alleviate some of the traffic issues. I drive Black Cat every day, and I can definitely sympathize with the way some people feel about that intersection and that road in general. But I also agree with you about the density. The R12 right up against Black Cat, 50-mile-per-hour road, and people are driving speed limits, makes me a little nervous. I wanted to mention also that farming equipment regularly goes up and down Columbia and Black Cat at the point where they're usually 15 miles an hour on top of regular traffic. That would be an issue. And like Doug was mentioning earlier, about, I would probably be hesitant, I guess, on approving this without. I'd like to see, I guess, read the actual design of what the school area and amenities area is, because I think I'm on the same wavelength as you, Councilman, about driving through neighborhoods for high school kids, possibly going to this ironically agricultural area when we're taking away all the agricultural land. It seems like throughout the city. So that's my piece.
I thought it was funny too.
I just found the one that they approved, the smaller one here, case number. You can see they had like only 2 different items here. This is a case number 2303AN. I just pulled up their packet. So let's see if we can just pull it up as an annexation. And yeah, I mean, it looks to be a pretty small thing. And what are they trying to put in here? You can see all the staff reports here. So they get it annexed into the county with C2 area commercial zone. So, you know, Kuna needs more commercial. So that's that part. Now, the one that they're talking about, I'm just going to continue it while I take a look at the document.
Yeah, from the man 2 cents, mine was a density problem. There's so much density out and about that's away from Kuna. I can understand why ACHD is looking at that in 12 years from now. No offense against ACHD, they do their best, and they're strapped with probably five cities that they have to please. But I don't believe ACHD can service this development. And I'm not going to use the word safely. I don't think they could provide a service that this development is going to require to transfer people in and out of that area. That's the word I'm looking for. Prudently. I'm going to keep that as a word.
Certainly, that's a good one.
Anyway, and the acreage they have set away from the school district. I would hate to be the chief of police and have all these traffic complaints from the students going through that subdivision to get to their agricultural area. That's just my 2 cents. I was looking at the future land use map, and we seem to use that word quite a bit, but it's not a Bible. As you can see, the current one, that's low-density housing, medium-density housing. There's no R12s in there. What we're trying to say, the developer's trying to say, well, wait a minute, in 2019, this is when we planned that project. Now we're trying to do a zoning change. So I don't know if we can have it both ways. And I'm still pretty... I'm trying not to put our sewage department in a stressful situation. I do not believe that we, and I understand the mayor saying, well, we can't approve development until we have the site and the sewage available. How about if we just don't approve it because we don't have it now? We're stockpiling all these permits that you're going to be required to fill because you said you could. But I think that's stretching your department out. I do not believe the sewage department can service this big of a development, along with everything else that they have, with the employees that you have. I'm sticking up for you. You don't say a word, you get fired. Anyway, I just try to protect you because you have a responsibility to service the other 27,000 people in this town. And we just keep putting more on you. That's my concern. I don't think ACHD can service you, the development. I don't think, in reality, I don't believe we should be putting this on your plate at the sewage department. I don't think the idea about running students that are late for class through a residential area, and I'll stick with those 3. Thank you.
Well, one issue we have always with ACHD, they do a good job, but they get their impact fees at the time of building permit, and so it's always the subdivision builds out, and then the road's way too busy, and then we fix it. And it's unfortunate, that's just the way the system works, but you're absolutely
Well, good news, there's 7,000 permits to issue before we get to that one.
Well, it's not only that, but like I said, ACHD does the best they can with what they have, but they put these priority projects. We're going to do this in 2027. Something else comes up, and they have every right to go, well, we're going to drop you down to priority number 4 because we have to move it over here to fix this problem. They can back out of this agreement. Or this, I'm going to call it agreement. They can back out of this idea that we're going to take care of the subdivision roads within the next 7 years.
Priorities are always dependent on funding, so they can rotate. Priority number 9 might make it up first.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I can?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to sing the same song at a different dance here because it's all sewage.
you dance well.
It's traffic, not really 2 feet, maybe 3. You know, the school's overcrowding. I would like, and I don't like the townhomes in the middle of it. Jockeying the thing around to make it, you know, a net of 8 overall. It's just too much for that area, in my opinion. I'd like to see the development agreement first with the total workout of the school project in there. I've had talks with people that are more in the know on this ag building that they want to do. I'm not sure how the neighbors in a couple of these areas are going to feel because what it is kids that live in the city that don't have anywhere for a 4-H heifer or you know, chickens or goats. Now they're going to have a little mini barnyard right here in their backyard, and they probably don't realize that. So then we're going to be facing another problem down the road.
Just a quick thing here. You can see here that the Planning Commission actually recommended the denial of the case right here. 5-0. And you can hear kind of all the concerns that they're dealing with right now. Let's see here. What are they saying? Staff recommends the application be subject to conditions of approval listed in section 9 of this memo. You know what the staff propose finding of facts. So it seems they kind of the staff kind of approved it, but let's see what's going on.
I'm not super up to date on the city code for allotment of farm animals in the city and types of farm animals, but potentially, from what I understand of them wanting to do this ag research building, it would far exceed what's allowable in our code, because it's ag and it's under 5 acres or 10 acres or whatever. But I think some more research needs to be done before that can proceed, which could be done through a development agreement and our wonderful staff, because they're so good at that. And we hear this later. That's my take on it. Because there's a lot to that aspect in that ag research building that they want to do that inside the city core. Well, it's not core, but city limits, as this would be, especially right up next to a neighborhood. Things might go afoul, and I don't mean just in the manure, but chickens get out, goats get out. Somebody's steer goes running down the road, needs somebody's rose bushes. I know they're not going to be happy. And who's going to get that call? Besides PD. To me, we just need to look at a lot more things on this before we would approve anything here. That's my 2 cents.
Do you have a motion?
I didn't think of one, but I can start. Do you have one?
And it sounds like you want to.
You want to look?
I know what's coming here.
Mark Bybee, city attorney, just going to try and provide a little procedural guidance, because I'm hearing what Doug said. It sounded like if, and I think what I've heard from the applicant too, there's things changing on the plat, that the plat needs to be finalized. If you're going the route of approval, the plat would need to be finalized. You need to have actual plat, preliminary plat you're approving in the packet, which from what I've heard today, I have doubts that it is the one that would be approved if approval is to happen. And so and also with what Councilmember McPherson just said, it's another thing that if those things would be put in the DA, if it would be modified, that would be another thing that would need to happen in another hearing. So I'm hearing things, whether it's approval or working on that, reasons that this might need to be continued for that. And if denial, if it's going to be a motion for denial, I think that motion could be made tonight, because I don't think, unless you are going to be persuaded, if you expect things that would change in the plat or things that Greg can discuss, these changes that might be made would persuade you away from a motion for denial, then that'd be a reason not to make that tonight. And so I just think, are we looking for more from this applicant? Do we want to see these changes for, before we make any kind of motion and possibly continue? If there's no reason to continue and it's going to be denial, then I think that motion would be denied. I don't think, and I guess the short way to say this, I don't think there's a room right now for an approval motion tonight without addressing at least the things that Doug raised. Okay, thank you.
And then how would you need that? If, which case number would you need addressed first? If we did approve it and move to have them updated, or if we tabled it, or if we denied it, which ones would you need?
If you're, that was a compound question. Here.
Gotta earn your money.
If you're continuing this, I just think you continue all applications. Like, it's just a simple motion. If you're going to start making approval and denial motions, the way you need to structure that, so the 2022-07-ZC, which I believe is the rezone, would be part of it. Or, sorry, so 2022-07-ZC, 2022-05 PUD, and 2022-05S, I believe those would be all part of the same motion for approval or denial, whereas the SUP, so that would be 2022-08 SUP and 2022-34 DR, those would be the ones that are the appeal ones that would need to be a motion to affirm or reverse the P&Z Commission. And to clarify, the P&Z Commission denied, so a motion to affirm would be affirming a denial, it would be to maintain the denial, whereas reverse would be essentially granting an approval because you'd be reversing the denial. Did that answer the question? Or, okay, questions? Thank you.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Other than me, I've said my piece.
What'd you say?
I think everybody knows.
Okay. What, did you want to see it updated?
I mean, ultimately, the R12 is one of our biggest sticking points, I think, on this one, but I can't wave a magic wand.
I think we might be too far apart anyway, from 12 to.
Yeah, I'm not sure a continuation is going to solve my issues.
I make a motion that we affirm a denial of case number 2208 SUP and 22-34 DR.
Affirm or deny?
Affirm a denial.
Oh, affirm or deny.
Affirm and deny?
Affirm a denial.
That's a good motion. He's saying affirm the denial. It's not in, I'm not, Affirm the decision. I say
Not
good motion,
affirm
not in,
the
I'm not
denial.
validating the content of the motion, just that I structured it right. So yes, affirm the denial makes sense.
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
And I make a motion that we deny case number 2207 CC and 2205 PUD and 2205S.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. All right. Business item.
Okay, so one was approved, and I believe that was just a small commercial space. And then the bunch of townhouses, I think you saw the pictures there, that was denied. Let's see if there was any other motions that night. And I think that's it. Let me see here if there's any more. And then there was a request for $25,000, but it seemed like they had much of a discussion for that. Okay, there was not much discussion going on further than that. All right. So I got through that. All right. Let's see. That was less than 20 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.